Greetings, everyone. I just want to welcome you to this segment here that we're going to have with our Superintendent of Education, Tim Cripps. Tim, we just want to welcome you.
Thank
and
you.
We're glad that you're here with us as we share with our constituents the blessings that God is doing throughout our conference as it relates to your department in the education world. So again, thank you for being here. I don't know if you want to say something to our constituents, but you can.
It's good to be here.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Well, Tim, I just want to begin with asking you several questions,
Okay.
and just so that the folks out there can get to know a little bit of what is happening here in our conference. But what are some of the most exciting upcoming initiatives or projects that your department is working on or has worked on here in the last year?
So this last summer, 6 of our 9 elementary schools participated in a STEM workshop that the union put on for us. The Southwestern Union, a shout out to them. Every summer they do a workshop for our teachers, and this was on STEM this last summer.
Okay.
Actually, it was 7 out of 9. And what that was science, technology, engineering, and math. And it deals with innovation, project-based learning. And so we're really excited about doing that, getting away from the textbooks a little bit more, getting the kids a little bit more hands-on. 2 of our schools have been really big into Lego robotics, Bentonville and Ozark Elementary, and we're trying to get more schools involved with that. In fact, one of our schools, Ozark Elementary, one of their 2 teams went to an invitational tournament, an international one in Florida. And they did quite well representing the Adventist Church and Arkansas. But we're hoping to have at least 6 schools participating in that this year. So that's the big push right now, is just trying to get our schools more exciting out of the textbooks and more hands-on.
Wow, that's exciting, man. That's always good to know and to hear the things that are happening within, our educational system. So that's obviously, you're talking about STEM and what that stands for, with dealing with the sciences and math and things of that nature. But talk to us, if you will, a little bit also from the spiritual context, because I know that a lot of times parents and grandparents and our constituents out there are interested in knowing what are we doing from a spiritual context. Is there anything you could share?
Yes, actually, several of our schools participated in the Pentecost 2025.
Awesome.
The evangelism. We have a lot of baptisms. I believe this last year we had about 11 or 12 baptisms in our conference-wide.
As a result of the education system
exactly.
or schools.
Our pastors are doing a great job of doing Bible studies and getting into the classrooms. That's basically, my goal is always to try to get students to understand the reason why it's important to choose Jesus daily.
Yes.
We have great spiritual teachers in our conference, very godly people that they just love to share Jesus with their students.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. Now, the other question is, how have you seen the conference working to support and to strengthen our local schools or our academy as well, especially in this current, educational climate?
So, one of them is, I just mentioned, the union does a lot of workshops every summer. And I know that's the union, but we help fund getting our teachers there. It's at no cost to the teachers. Angelica, my administrative assistant, and I were always available pretty much, it seems like 24/7 to answer calls from our teachers. And in fact, Angelica will be driving to meetings or a school, and she'll open up her laptop while I'm driving and answer a call from the teachers and be able to help. Technology is great. We try to be proactive with data. We have instant access to standardized test scores now with the internet. I can see grade books from all the teachers. Everything's online, so we can see where there's deficiencies and be able to help the teachers and coach them. The union provided OWL cameras, so I and our curriculum coach from the union can observe classrooms. Instead of the superintendent goes in and everybody acts different in the classroom.
Right.
We can have them turn on a camera and we can actually observe the class naturally. So we can coach the teachers from
Excellent.
my office, Renee Whiting at the union's office. So we can see test scores, grade books. We send out surveys every year to parents, so we can look at data and see how our teachers are doing, give them the coaching they need to help improve where they need, congratulate where they're doing good. Another initiative that we've been working with is professional learning communities.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in our small schools, the teachers can be on an island. But with the professional learning communities, we divide the teachers into groups so they can collaborate as peers. They can work together once a week, they work online. Just recently we purchased plan book software for the teachers. So they can go online, do their lesson plans, they can collaborate with each other, they can see something from a teacher in Texaco conference, a lesson plan, and say, hey, that looks really good. I'm gonna use that in my classroom. So we're not only collaborating in our conference, our union teachers all are connected with their lesson plan books now. So we can, if Johnny doesn't do well in a certain area, we can look at their test scores, we can look at their grades, we can look at the lesson plans and see what happened.
Right.
Why didn't Johnny get this information? If it was in the lesson plan book and the grades and the test score, maybe Johnny needs some extra help. So we're trying to provide whatever we can for our teachers to be able to help them be successful.
Wow, that's excellent, man. That's exciting to know and to hear what is happening, in our schools and the tools and resources that they have been able to receive, like you said, from the union, but also from the conference in your department specifically, because obviously you're working with them
Right.
in the trenches day to day.
And also, I would also say, as far as the climate, the safety of our schools, a couple years ago, the conference voted at the executive committee level to provide the RAVE app.
Yes, thank you
for all of our schools. And what that does is, with the touch of the button, they can summons if there's an active shooter. They know exactly where on the property that's taking place, the police department does. And with the touch of the button, I will also get alerted. All the staff on the campus get alerted. In a one-room school, if there's an accident, a student gets hurt, they can summons the ambulance and it will notify pastor, board chair, whoever we put in the system, so the one-room teacher isn't just by themselves trying to deal with the situation, and they don't have to try, who do I have to call? Pastor, board. They just push one button and it takes care of everything.
Wow. But
Yeah.
Tim, does it really work though? I mean, I know some people are probably asking, does it really work? Does
Well,
that system, what's the difference between that and 911?
Without telling the school, we were doing a teacher in-service meeting online, and one of our teachers, I told them not to push the button, and they had pushed the button, and 5 minutes later, SWAT and everybody else showed up to their school.
Wow.
And it was just he and the other teacher, and they were sitting in the school, and everybody came in, and they knew exactly in the school where to find them
Wow.
within 5 minutes.
Wow.
So, yes, it does work.
Hey, that's good to know, because that's what we're interested again in, the education of our students, but also the safety
Right.
of them, and so that's always good to know as well. Now, in what ways can local churches and pastors collaborate effectively within our schools system to promote spiritual and academic growth? What ways, aside, you mentioned already the Pentecost 2025, but are there any other things that you could share from, again, the context of education that maybe our pastors are listening to right now that could help?
Well, I think the biggest thing is pastors can be a huge cheerleader for Adventist education.
Yes.
Churches usually follow the line of the pastor. I've worked in schools as a teacher and a principal where the kids were deathly afraid of the pastor. The pastor was seen as this authoritarian who preached at them once a week. I've worked in schools where the pastors would come in and play with the kids. They'd play recess, they'd play PE. If you can't physically play, they'd play table games with them, just so they could see a personal side of the pastor, more relaxed, so they could build that relationship with the students. I've had pastor time where pastors come into my classroom, and so if they would ask me a question that I couldn't answer as a teacher, even though I'm raised in Adventist, I'm not a theologian. I don't get a lot of the questions sometimes that are asked. I would say that's a great pastor question. So we'd write it down, and when the pastor would come in, he would have conversations with them, Bible studies, just being involved. As far as the church goes, the biggest thing is prayer. I have an initiative that I try to start in every school and even at the conference level. Pray for our schools at 3:45. I have my cell phone set, so when the alarm goes off at 3:45, whatever I'm doing, I pray. If I'm driving, I just try to remember to keep my eyes open, but I pray. And I invite everybody to do that. Set your cell phones for 3:45 and just stop and pray for our schools, our teachers.
Excellent.
Donate time, donate resources, innovation. If you're somebody that does electrical or plumbing or any other type of gardening or something, and you have an interest in that and you want to share it with the younger people, ask the teachers if you can come in and teach them how to do some basic stuff. Paint, anything that they can learn how to do, come in and teach them.
Yes.
Another thing is finances. If your church doesn't have a school, find one of our schools and adopt it. Give me a call. Hey, Tim, what school needs help financially?
Yeah.
Adopt a student. It doesn't even have to be a student at your church. If there's a student that needs help in another school, pay their tuition.
That's right.
Or even at Ozark Academy, pay their tuition, help them out. So there's a lot of ways that church members can help out and get involved.
Excellent. Now, Tim, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I know that there's been changes happen throughout, the years and stuff. But would you mind sharing with us maybe some new staff that has joined the team or that will be joining the team for this next school year? I don't know if you, and that's what I'm saying.
We actually didn't have a whole lot of turnover this year.
Excellent.
So our one-room school in Harrison, Miss Smith retired, and so we tried to talk her out of it, but we have Clarissa Moore, who's going to be the head teacher there. She's a longtime church member there. Our other change, really, addition is at Ozark Elementary. Because of the LEARNS Act, and I can go into that a little bit more with you in a moment, they needed to add a teacher. So we're adding Bonnie Baldridge.
Okay.
And she'll be teaching first grade. They've had to separate out their first and second grade. So we've added Bonnie Baldridge to be the first grade teacher. We had our third and fourth grade teacher, longtime teacher, Eva Hill, retired. She'd been at OAS for many, many years. She retired, and we have Haley, her name just slipped my mind, Enix. I know her by her maiden name. Haley Enix just joined us, or will be joining us there. And then the sad passing of Carla Simmons last year, our 7th and 8th grade teacher at OAS. So we had to replace her. And we have Ethan Reed, who just graduated from Southwestern. So we have a young, brand new graduate getting ready to start his teaching career with us in Ozark. Tara Bailey left us to be the superintendent in Oklahoma. So to replace her, we brought in Angie Livingston. So those are the big changes in the elementary. And most of them, as you know, it's not because teachers are necessarily leaving us, it's retirement or promotion, or unfortunately with death.
Right, and when those things happen, that's the reality of things.
So
is that
we are retaining our teachers.
Hey,
so that's
praise
the Lord. Our teachers seem happy. They're seeming like they like it here. They like working with us. So
good. Thank you for sharing that. That's always good for our constituents to know what is happening here. And so, again, Tim, we're excited to see the things that are happening here in our conference as it relates to the education system. And Tim, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you and your wife for being part of this team here in the Arklac conference. Our team, as we've shared before, is composed not only of pastors, but also office staff and teachers, and we're always looking forward when we work together with a good team, because I can assure you this thing is that this team has a desire and a passion for God, and within the context of our educational system, one of the things that we look for is not only to educate our students, our young people, to be good citizens of this earth and of this country, but also to be better citizens for the kingdom to come. And so this is why I want to take this opportunity to encourage you, members of our conference, that if you have a desire, as Tim said, to be involved, make yourself available in whichever way that you can, whether it's physically or financially. Again, remember, what we're doing here is making citizens for the kingdom of God. And so we want to encourage you to be involved with that. And again, Tim, thank you for being part of this team. We are gracious to you and your wife that you're part of this team. We're proud of what you guys are doing. And thank you again.
Well, we thank you for having us, and it's been a joy to serve here.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.